Impressed force and activity. 37. In the statement of the laws of circuitation, I have intentionally omitted all reference to impressed forces. That there must be impressed forces is obvious enough, because a dynamical system comprehending only the electric and magnetic stored energies and the Julian waste is only a part of the dynamical system of nature. We require means of showing the communication of energy to or from our electromagnetic system without having to enlarge it by making it a portion of a more complex system. Thus, taking it as it stands at present, the activity per unit volume we have seen to be Ej plus Hg equals Q plus U dot plus T dot, where the left side expresses the activity of the electric and the magnetic force on the corresponding currents, and the right side what results, viz., waste of energy, Q per second, an increase per second of the electric energy U and the magnetic T, and as there are supposed to be no impressed forces, if we integrate through all space, we shall obtain 0 equals the summation Q plus U plus T, where sigma means summation of what follows it. Or if Q0 be the total waste, and similarly U0 and T0 the total energies, 0 equals Q plus U dot plus T dot, meaning that whatever energy there be wasting itself is derived solely from the electric or magnetic energy, which decrease accordingly. This is the persistence of energy when there are no impressed forces. Now, if there be impressed forces communicating energy at the rate A, the last equation must become summation F times V equals A equals Q plus U dot plus T dot. And A must be the sum of the activities of the impressed forces F in the elements of volume, in whatever way space may be divided into elements, large or small, and however we may choose to reckon the impressed forces. There may be many ways of doing it. F may sometimes, for example, be an ordinary force, and V, the velocity to match, is then a translational velocity. But for our immediate purpose, it is naturally convenient to reckon the impressed forces electrically and magnetically, so that the corresponding velocities are the electric and magnetic currents. We shall then have, if E be the impressed electric, and H the impressed magnetic force E times J plus H times G, to represent their activity per unit volume, and in all space. Summation of Ej plus Hg equals summation Q plus U plus T. Instead of equation 7. This is the integral equation of activity. We cannot remove the sign of summation and make the same form do for the unit volume, for this would make every unit volume independent of the rest, and do away with all mutual action between contiguous elements, and transfer of energy between them. This matter will be returned to in connection with the transference of energy. Distinction between force of the field and force of the flux. 38. The distinction between H1 and H and between E1 and E is often a matter of considerable importance. We have H equals H plus H1, E equals E plus E1. Now it is E and H that are effective in producing fluxes. Thus E is the force of the flux D and also of C, and H is the force of the flux B. On the other hand, in the laws of circuitation, as above expressed, the impressed forces do not count at all. So that we have, in terms of the forces E and H, curl brackets H minus H equals J, minus curl brackets E minus E equals G, equivalent to equations 4 and 5. To distinguish from the forces of the fluxes, I sometimes call E1 and H1 the forces of the field. Of course, they only differ where there is impressed force. As the distribution of the energy, as well as of the fluxes, depends upon E and H, it is usually best to use them in the formulae.